Hello everyone, so I just want to make a quick video talking about how politicians and public figures should stick to their word. So, for example, one TD, when they were running for the election, and they got in actually. I'm not saying the name of the TD, but an older citizen came to me about it and said they promised, this TD in particular promised €5 because he's on social welfare. He's an elderly citizen. He's nearly pension age. But again, he was talking to her when she came around looking for votes. And he said, if you give me if you give the pensioners another a €5 rise, if Fianna Fáil does that, or give more money to people on social welfare, disabilities, and things like that. And Fianna Fáil did promise, and I do remember a good few members of Fianna Fáil promising, and I remember this. Them saying they're going to give a rise for people on the dole on social welfare. And that never materialized. And I might be honest, they said €5, and I know people might say €5, no, but again, it means a lot to a person that lives on their own, a person that's walked all their life. Like in particular, this fellow here walked since he was 15, and because of his back, he can't walk. He can't walk. He can't. He couldn't walk. He finished in the. I think when he said I think 57, he had to finish because he had problems with his back. But he walked all his life. And the least the government could do was give him an extra five a week. And obviously he worked all his life. He worked for everything he had. And he worked very hard. And obviously back then, things weren't handed to him. Obviously he had to leave school because obviously he had to provide. He had to provide for his mother who was at home on her own, because the father was dead. So we had to do that, and it was tough on him. And the government are not making it easy. But again, this is the thing. That TD particularly made a promise to him and promised him on the door that she would get him that €5 rise a week. And again, people might say, what? Again, it's the promise. She made a promise, and she said it a few days later on the radio. But again, this is the thing. You promise, you promise it, even though you might say, it's only one TD. It's not up. It's up to the party to decide, at the government. But again, if I was making the promise, I would do everything I could to make sure. Say I was making a promise for the social welfare, I give them a 50% rise in the social welfare. I take, for example, up to €500 a week. And just saying, just take for example, I would do everything I could. I go to the Taoiseach, I go to the township, I go to everybody about it and try and get enough support for it. Again, it's not unhumanly possible to do. It is possible, but that's just one example. Because again, you hear them promising and promising and promising. And I think it was Enda Kenny. I actually think he said, "I fixed this house in crisis." I think he said. I think I'm not too sure. Maybe I think it was Enda Kenny. That went well for him, didn't it? He's retired now and he's big sum of money, and so he's over in Europe now, and he's fine. He has a huge amount of money. He won't be starving on the street. Don't worry. He won't be feeding himself on a plastic plate or on God forbid, on the floor. But yeah, this is the thing. These politicians, they need to make good in the word. Put the money where the mouth is. If they're not going to make good in it, like as I said to this man, you need to really pressure this politician, and again, that's because he did photo number one, for example. He did photo number one, and that's because again, he said he wouldn't have done only for she promised him on the doorstep, and she would go out of her way to get that rise for pensioners and for people on disabilities, and people on the social welfare. And she never did. But again, this is the thing. As I said to him, continuously pressure this politician, make us explain herself why she's not bothered to look for it or whatever. But again, he deserves an explanation, because again, he could have used that vote another way. He could have voted for anybody else. And again, if you make a promise, it's the same as I do. If I make a promise to somebody, I do my best. If I can't get it fully, if I can't say, for example, if I say to somebody, I'm going to give you €6 million, and I only have 2 million or something like that, I make good on my word and give them that 2 million. I need to make an effort to try and make amends, try to meet them halfway, I suppose. But saying nothing and pretending that the conversation didn't happen or anything like that, it's very crooks and it's very like politicians now. Let's put it that way. But let me know what you think and subscribe for more, and let me know if you ever promised by a politician anything. It'd be interesting to hear. what people have to say, because it's happened a lot across this country that politicians promise the moon and the stars and then never give it to you. But yeah, let me know what you think, and let me know if you have any experience of this, and let me know, and bye.